Millionaire math. Let's get all this money out of the way. That's why we're doing it, right? For money. Let's talk about this for a second. Gerald Peters, hey man, if you don't have a free copy, and this is free, no mentor group, no follow-up, no catch. You DM me, contact me through email, Instagram, whatever. I'll send you a free ebook. Do with it what you will. Millionaire math. There's a chapter in here. There's a couple of cool chapters. One is Help, I'm 40 and Broke. That's kind of the guy I'm talking to right now. And the other is chapter 2, How a $10 bill changed the way I view money. And it was because I got my mind around the money math. Now you may already understand this, and if you do, good for you. But the sooner you get this, now this is fractal. I'm going to use the term millionaire, but it doesn't have to be millionaire. It could be 10,000. I mean, we at least got to shoot for this. If you're a kid, you shoot for this. You're 40 and you're broke, you're shooting for this. We're going to get to this the same way you get to this, the same way you get to this, right? And the same way you get to this. That's what I'm trying to get to. To get to 10 million, I can't do that working. I can't earn enough money to make 10, well, I could. I personally can't. Like I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an accountant. I don't have a high paying job. But here's what I do have. Time. I got another good 50 years. So I'm playing this game for life. So the millionaire math for billionaire isn't a one-time thing. Yeah, we're gonna try to get there as fast as we can, don't worry about it. And I'm pretty convinced that anyone can become a millionaire in 7 to 10 years. 7 to 10 years. But you're going to have some basic understanding of math, like the rule of 7.2. And on YouTube, you're going to find people way smarter, way faster, way cooler, way charismatic than me who can break down all of this. I'm just trying to give you basic concepts. This is how I turned a couple $100 and a job and some side hustles into right at $3 million. It is what it is. There are people who've done it way faster, but it was still the millionaire math. Now you could invent something. I'm not talking about marrying wealth would be the fastest. And the way to make the most money in America is to start a business. But most businesses go out of business. You understand that, right? So starting a business isn't without risk. And I would encourage you to start a business. And if you've started a business, you need to understand millionaire math because at some point your business is going to go out of business. And what you're going to be left with is your investments, right? So what are your investments right now? And it can't be you're always, I meet a lot of young people investing in their brand. They're still paying on college. Like all of their money is going to pay for stuff that isn't actually producing returns that allow time to make you rich. Now, I only invest in a couple things. Business, my own business or myself, other people's businesses, and real estate. So I want to do that. I want to invest in my business, other people's business, or real estate to become a millionaire, and I have time. And so we can begin to look at what are different asset classes that produce return that we can compound and put time on our side. So everyone has the luxury of having time make them rich. But if you're 35 years old and you have a zero net worth, or even worse, you're below zero, college debt, car loans, mortgages, you add up everything, you owe more than you have. In the 30 years or 25 years or 35 years you've been alive, you've negative compounded. You've created negative net wealth for yourself. We want to get you in the positive. And so $10,000 would be better than no $1,000. Why? Because $10,000 over time compounds. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. We could do that in the stock market, right? Let's say the S&P 500. Some people are index only people. We could buy a house. I personally do houses and I do stocks. So I invest in me, my business, how I make money, how I make active money first, so that I can push that business into stocks, right? Stocks on average give a 10% return, which doubles my money every 7.2 years, labor free, no phone calls, no maintenance calls, nobody's calling me, this money doubles. Now I'm better at it. I often get 20% year returns. I've had 35% year returns. I've had back-to-back 35% returns, back-to-back. So that is one way. The also besides investing in your own business, which could be your job, your career, getting certified, getting certs, staying up so you're making money, putting money into your side hustle, buying a lawnmower, buying a truck, doing things that will allow you to create active money so you can push that money into investments over time will make you rich. The other thing is the amount. So the amount that you invest and the time you have control over, and these two factors equal how fast do you get to be a millionaire in 7 years. So these are what we're looking at. So I want to begin to understand time. How does time play into this game? The sooner you want to be a millionaire, the less time you have. So the more you need to look at how much are you putting in, right? And then what is the rate of return? And so the faster you want to get to be a millionaire, you have to control these. You got to get a much higher rate of return if you want to get to millionaire status sooner, and you need to get a higher percent return on the money invested. The amount, right, is this. So the amount needs to be more. So the more you put in the amount, the faster you get to this. Just makes sense. This is just the basic idea of millionaire math. And so now we got to pick our asset class and what we're going to do. I do two things. Houses, because you can turn $15,000 into $150,000 pretty quick. You can in real estate. A lot of people have done it. I didn't invent it. They've been doing it for 5,000 years. So this is a 5,000-year-old way of building wealth. And so I did that. I have 15 houses that are worth about $2 million total. I don't live in the highest, my houses on average are worth about $150K. I've been doing this for 18 years, building this portfolio. That's not amazing. A lot of people have done way more than me. A lot of people have more than 15 houses, okay? So there's nothing impossible about what I've done. It's actually pretty simple. I just go in, I buy a house, I put 20% down, I make sure that my mortgage taxes and my interest are about $200 or more for my holding costs. So I want to make at least $200 to $300 a month cash flow, times that times 12, multiply it by the years, the loans are paid down, the property appreciates by 5 to 7 years, millionaire math. Now go out and do this, leverage yourself and do it 10 times. So I have maybe $200,000 total of my own money over the last 18 years invested in real estate. $200,000. That's not an impossible sum of money. You're going to make that. People on welfare make $200,000. It's just a matter of time, right? So as this money comes in, I pushed it into houses. So here's my house. And as those began, I began to leverage myself. 1 house, 2 houses, 3 houses. To now, the portfolio is worth about $2 million, appreciating at about 5 to 7% a year. Just on price appreciation, comes out to about what? Between $75,000 and $100,000 a year in price appreciation on my 15 houses. $100,000 a year. I don't have but 200 in. What is 100,000 on a return on 200? Do you see the compounding effect? I don't even need to sit around doing the return. I'm getting 50% a year from what I have in every year going forward. So how does wealth begin to compound? What happens to the 2 million? How fast? It gets to 3 million a hell of a lot faster than I got to 1 million. And so you begin to compound. What happens now if you get 50 units? You really get rich. That is the math to building wealth. You can do it in the stock market, the S&P 500. I have a method, I have a book called The Money Flow Trading System where I use charts to track stocks. Why? Because I'm trying to get rich. I'm trying to get fucking rich. And so I take time, and every day I follow 50 different stocks. Other people like to spend their day and time paying money in their leisure time watching rich people do their job. And so they spend their weekends watching rich people who are already rich perform for you. Instead, I decided to spend my time trying to build wealth, understanding the millionaire math, creating the side hustles, launching the businesses, taking that money and buying when other people were fearful and using charts to do it. And understanding time, this is timing, and wanting to do it over time. And then amount, so this is why I got to work extra to get my jobs right, got to get my debt right, got to get the 3 buckets right just out of the ebook. And I take the amount plus the time, and I figure out my rate of return. And so I want to buy assets when they're on sale. I want to buy houses, right? Not cars. We don't want cars. That's negative math. Your cars, your credit cards, your debts, that's other people's passive income. So when you have all this interest payments and you owe people and you're underwater and you're in debt and you have college loans, you're paying people like me. You're creating math. You're creating the millionaire math for other people, not yourself. So if you're going to learn the millionaire math, first thing you got to do is realize you got to get rid of the debt, dude. You're making other people rich. This is what you do. And live, not you, but whoever's doing it, and live every single day to make them richer and richer and richer and richer. Or you can take control of time. You can take control of the amount you're putting in. And you could take control of learning about rates. What is the rate on a rental property? Not just listening to gurus and doing what they tell you, but learning. What does a house pay? What does an MLP pay? What does a mortgage-backed security or a mortgage REIT pay? You say like mort, right? What does the S&P 500 pay? And what does it compound at? And what is its history? And so you begin to take your money, how $10 a day changed my life, and you begin to invest it in chunks, large sums of money. You start investing in things that produce return. Millionaire math. Time times amount times rate. And so I took maybe $300,000 over the last 18 years, divide that up, that's not much, and have turned it into $3 million by simply investing every day I invest. Some of that investment looks like I paint my own rent house so that I can take the money and push it into other assets. Or I work a side hustle so I can take the money and push it into real estate deal or a stock deal and buy real amounts, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. And you go all in. You put it all in because you understand the millionaire math, and you begin to build assets that produce actual cash flow, and you begin to actually build wealth. And that's exactly how I turned $300,000 over 18 years into about $3 million that looks like 15 single-family rental properties, 42 stocks, all pushing in and producing $150,000 a year in gross passive income, and I have maybe $300,000 in there total. That was my money. Again, see the 50% pattern? You see how over time your money starts returning 50%, not 10%, 50% because of the exponential growth of the money? That's the millionaire math. That's what people misunderstand.